Does the fact that Prince Andrew, past US Presidents Donald Trump and Bill Clinton, Michael Jackson and David Copperfield were all involved in Epstein's death really make it strange? Let's explore. Hi everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Here, we talk about shocking facts, interesting conspiracy ideas, and news that will blow your mind. Put down your popcorn and settle in for another shocking story. There was a lot of talk on social media recently about Jeffrey Epstein, who is one of the richest people in the world and did some bad things. Epstein took advantage of his money to sexually abuse many girls who were too young to be with him. A lot of important people were involved in the case. Both Jeffrey Epstein and his ex-girlfriend Maxwell were found guilty of several counts of trafficking people. Several sexual assaults on several victims under the age of 18. According to documents made public in early January 2024. Epstein was caught trafficking girls under the age of 18. What's even more shocking is that dozens of Epstein case files show that some of his famous clients were Prince Andrew, Michael Jackson, David Copperfield, and former US Presidents Donald Trump and Bill Clinton. Epstein, a millionaire who used to work as a partner at Bear Stearns on Wall Street, had a successful business called J. Epstein & Co. His business quickly became popular because it took care of client assets worth more than $1 billion. Epstein started committing crimes after this success. Epstein was very wealthy, so he bought many properties at very high prices. One of these was his own island in the US Virgin Islands, which he named Little St. James. Epstein used the island, which he bought for a very high price, for joy, lust, and even crimes against many underage women. His ex-girlfriend Ghislaine Maxwell, who is the daughter of British media mogul Robert Maxwell, helped him do these things. One of the victims, Virginia Giuffre, who is also a plaintiff in the case filed for Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, said that the high school girl thought she had been paid to massage her. I really don't remember how I was asked to get there. I don't remember exactly how I was proposed to get there. I was just there, and suddenly something bad happened to me, she said, adding that Epstein took her clothes off the first time they met without her permission. Numerous horrible things happened on the island, and the dozens of Jeffrey Epstein case files show that there were also the names of famous people like Prince Andrew, Michael Jackson, David Copperfield, and former US Presidents Donald Trump and Bill Clinton. Most of these well-known people have sued for claimed defamation in connection with the Epstein case, especially being seen in Epstein's island. If a person's name is on this list, it doesn't mean that they are being accused of doing something wrong with Epstein. There are names of people who were addressed briefly in court proceedings. Put pictures of the people in here. However, is it true that these important people have nothing to do with the Epstein case? Or do they want to hide the crimes they have done over the years by using their power and authority? It's very unclear what happened after Jeffrey Epstein's death in August 2019, because Epstein reportedly killed himself by hanging himself in a prison cell in Manhattan while he was waiting for his trial for sex trafficking and being a predator to hundreds of women who said and testified that he abused them. Many conspiracy ideas started to go around after the news of Jeffrey Epstein's death. One of them came from Donald Trump, who has known Jeffrey Epstein for more than 15 years and is his friend. A comedian named Terrence K. Williams tweeted a conspiracy idea on Sunday, 11/8/2019, which Trump then shared. Terrence said Epstein knew something about Bill Clinton in the tweet. Terrence shared a picture of Bill Clinton and Epstein on social media, along with a short video. According to papers that came out 4 years later, on January 4th, 2024, Epstein was found to not have any major signs of attempting suicide, which is another strange thing. Epstein was being supervised by a psychologist at the time because he had tried to kill himself a few days before and got hurt. But according to a story from the Associated Press, Epstein said he wasn't thinking about committing suicide. To a jail psychologist, he said that ending his wonderful life would be crazy. Due to the horrible acts of two ex-lovers, Maxwell, 61, is now in jail in Tallahassee, Florida. In December 2021, a jury in Manhattan found her guilty on 5 counts of recruiting and grooming 4 girls to be abused by Epstein between 1994 and 2004. It didn't stop the kite or the claims that Maxwell might have been the mastermind behind Epstein's death, though. Maxwell, who is the daughter of the late British media mogul Robert Maxwell, said in her appeal that authorities were using her as a scapegoat for Epstein's death because public outrage demanded that someone else be blamed. It was true that this person was accused, but Maxwell's own father, Robert Maxwell, had also been found floating in the Atlantic Ocean near the Canary Islands 12 years before this. In that moment, Maxwell's company was about to go bankrupt, so he chose to end his own life by committing suicide. In an interesting turn of events, Robert Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein's lives are linked by Ghislaine Maxwell, Robert Maxwell's daughter. She went to New York soon after Maxwell died and met Epstein there.
What a deal! This is a very interesting accident. Still, do you think these two events happen at the same time in a strange way? Or is it a way of planning what will happen? Include a comment below.
But what did really happen when Epstein died? Are the well-known people whose names were linked to the Epstein case really capable of being the ones who faked the billionaire's death? For example, Epstein asked to be taken off of suicide watch, which adds to the awkwardness of his death. It's also not clear why the police just gave in to Epstein's request when he was found asleep in his cell with cuts on his neck a few weeks ago. We also don't know why Epstein was locked up alone in his cell on Friday night, the day he was discovered dead. Also, why the guards didn't check on him more often, as was required and what was normal in prison.